Hello. Today's video is going to be a bit different. It's going to be a bit more like a vlog because it's more like an update of where I'm at, although I guess technically all my videos are like that. But this one I'm not drawing, okay? So we're just talking, and it'll be short because talking can be boring. I'm going back to school. Kind of. Not really. Not like real school, not like university, not like getting a bachelor's or a master's in digital art, but more like getting classes and getting a mentor. Because, you know, I've been complaining a lot about being tired of teaching myself stuff on the internet and wanting to actually get feedback and actually learn and grow faster. I've made a couple of videos in the past about, you know, like art school and do you need it and can you do it all online, and those are kind of old videos. Basically the TLDR is art school or any creative school in general can get you where you're wanting to go faster, but you can get to your destination without them. So the faster bit is what I'm kind of dialing in on, because I've been trying to do this for like 4 years now and I've gotten some improvement, but I'd like to improve faster and more efficiently. So I decided to actually go back to school. So then what does that look like? What does going to school look like if you don't actually have an actual like 4-year degree? Well, there's like 2 options that I found. The first one, and I seriously considered this, is FZD School of Design. And what FZD School of Design is it is a 1-year intensive, balls to the walls, crazy intense, actual like school with classes and like broken up into semesters over in Singapore, only in Singapore. And it's made by Fengzu, who, if you don't know who Fengzu is, he's pretty much a legend. You have to know who he is. If not, Google him. But he made a school, and that's what it is. Sometime in my life, I think it would be really cool to do this. And even now talking about it, I'm a little conflicted on my decision to not go for this route, because what it would mean is that for me as an American, I would have to go and study abroad at Singapore, which they speak English, so that works. But it's basically, so it's 30 grand for a year, which isn't cheap. And on top of that, they work you so hard and there's so much homework because you're grinding so efficiently that 90% of the graduates get a job in the industry, which is awesome. But then for me, that means that you can't work to get a job, which means you would have to go to Singapore and pay tuition, which is 30 grand, on top of paying for living expenses and food and everything else without having a job. So the cost like double. So you have to work without a year of income and pay for tuition. And that is significant, especially if you've already paid a lot of money for a college degree in the past and already have student loans. So the thought of selling literally everything I own to go to Singapore for a year and grind at concept art was appealing, but I ultimately decided against it. And what I went for instead is CGMA. CGMA is a lot cheaper, but it's also not as intense. If you don't know what CGMA is, it's basically individual courses that you can take taught by industry experts, and they're mentored, and they're like 8 weeks long, and that's all it is. They're individual mentorship classes that you can pick and choose which ones you want to do depending on your interests. So like here in courses, they're broken down, you know, you have 2D, 3D, VFX, games, like all of these things. So then I went down this list and I was trying to figure out which ones would interest me, which ones I think I could get the most benefit from. And the cool thing is that they also have something called tracks. And what tracks are is that they kind of like, they don't force you to take a certain number of courses, but they kind of group similar courses together. So if you go for, you know, the 2D character design track, for example, they break down the recommended classes that they think you should take together over 8-week period. So this block one would be one 8-week period where you do head drawing and construction and character design for animation, and then the next 8-week chunk you do anatomy of clothing and animal drawing. And it's really cool, and it's not super cheap. Like, I mean, $6.99 is nothing to sneeze at, but when you compare it to 30 grand plus not having a job and not having any income for a year in Singapore, it seemed a lot more doable. So what I did is that for starting in October, so I have about a month, I will be doing analytical figure drawing, and anatomy of style, which is really cool. It's all traditional, so a little out of my comfort zone there. But basically what it is that you are simplifying anatomical shapes to be stylized. So it's not anime, but it's like not purely like medical. So there's like some simplification of anatomical forms, which is rad. And then of course, head drawing and construction. So really leaning into like, I was like, okay, if I'm already trying to do anime, if I'm already figuring out that I like the anime figure drawing, like art vibe, and I'm kind of taking a pause from environments, then I'm just going to go all out. And from October to December, so for these 8 weeks, I'm just going to focus on the figure, and I'm going to have homework, and I'm going to have classes, and I'm going to have like actual mentors critiquing me, which I am unfathomably excited for. But yeah, that's it. That's like all I really wanted to say. I'm going back to school. I'll share with you what I learned, and hopefully you can glean some things that I learned from my mistakes so that you can improve faster, because I know that it's, you know, I'm fortunate that I'm able to at least do this. So for those of you who are still grinding and self-taught, power to you. It sucks. I've been there, and I hope that I can help you as much as I can for free here on YouTube. So let's keep improving together. We got it. Art's hard, but you know what? We're gonna do it together. See you next time.